Hello, my name is Sonali. We will start the webinar in a minute. Today's topic is Websphere Commerce Build and Deploy tool. If you have any questions, please type that in the chat, and in the end of the session, we can go over all those questions. We can get started now. So a little overview on our company background. Our company name is Royal Cyber. We are based in Illinois. We have been serving multiple industries, including many Fortune 500 companies. We offer cutting-edge IT service globally. And our headquarters is in Naperville, Illinois. We last year won the Impact 2013 Mobile Innovation Award, and we have been IBM Premier Business Partner for around 10 years. We have more than 200 highly skilled IT professionals providing consulting for IBM technologies. About 10 plus years of extensive experience in Websphere brand solution. We have offices. Our headquarters is in the US, and we have branches in Canada, UK, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, South India, and Australia. So the overview. So WCBD basically provides a detailed procedure for deploying the application assets and archives, and store archive to Websphere Commerce runtime environment. It helps in automate CVS extract, build and deploy process. It prevents human errors from manual deployments, makes the deployment process very robust. Build packages can be repeatedly deployed to multiple remote target environment, such as production, staging, testing, sandbox, and deployment environments. Multiple scheduled deployments to meet the requirements of development teams in various time zones. And it provides logging and email notification functionality, which helps in problem determination. Simplifies the deployment process and saves the time for WCS administration team. And it's highly customizable using Apache and scripts to suit project-specific needs. So that's basically the overview. So in this slide, we are going to go over the high-level flow of how this and what all of the different components WCBD touches. So we have this is the SCM or your CVS repository where all the code is, all the development team. You have a team of development team environment where all the different developers are checking in the code, and the build server is where the WCBD is installed. It extracts the code from your same repository. You can do a full build or a partial build, and then perform the build. You can create the build package for your development toolkit environment or a server environment. And then you can transfer, perform the deployment into your commerce server, or you have like a data load or some SQL procedures. You can do remote server deployment on the database, or you have static content you want to deploy, or if you have DMGR in multi-server environment, you can a clustered environment, you can do deployment there. So this slide basically lists down all the different high-level features which WCBD provides. So it allows you to check out code from CVS. You can create a customized build packages. Customization is in your CVS repository. You may have files in different folder locations, but then in your build environment, you have some different formats, so you can do all the customization in the WCBD in the build scripts, as well as if you have a web server where you only want static content to be moved, you can customize your scripts to only create a separate folder where all the static content are residing. Plus, there can be property files which are target specific. So there are host names. So you can create 3 versions of target specific files. And the WCBD has mechanisms that it will pick up the right appropriate files and deploy that into the respective environments. So the WCBD build server resides, you can put it on, install it on a separate environment, or you can deploy that in the development server. And then from there, you can do centralized remote deployments into all different environments, dev, test, production, sandbox. It provides logging of both the build and deploy processes, and it also sends email notification. Email is sent for both success and failure. In case of failure, the logs can be sent as an attachment. And then you can, as part of the deployment, you can do customized DB assets deployment, which basically includes all the ACP file upload, and then data load XML scripts, SQL procedure scripts, and then for like web servers, you can deploy static content using FTP, SCP, or SFTP. And it also provides scripts for WCS Solar. So for if you have custom changes for the search folder, if the WCS search folder, you can there are scripts available. You can customize those and perform changes for the search folder. And there are scripts for search indexing as well. Plus, you can do restart your server, clean up the temp folders, and other tasks which you currently perform manually. So if you have any questions, please add that in the chat, and I will go over that. Now, So these are this provides a list of property files for build. So there, as part of the WCBD, there are two main components. One is the build process, and one is the deploy process. So as part of the build process, it includes the CVS checkout also. So in the CVS checkout, there are two modes. One is full checkout. In the case of full checkout, it first deletes all the folder locally which were earlier retrieved from CVS, and then gets all the code like a fresh checkout from CVS. And in case of partial, it compares and only gets updates from CVS. And then it performs the build, creates a build package. So that's the first part, and then the second part is the deploy process. The deploy process then performs deployment of the various assets into the target environment. So as part of the build process, there are two files. One is the files used for the build process are the build properties, build private properties, and the WCBD build common.xml. The WCBD build common XML, this file has the actual end functions. These property file has the parameters property for the which are used by the end file, and this private property has the username or information which are more secured. The deploy process, these three scripts are used by the deploy process, and these are target specific. So for each of your different environment, you have to create, you have to specify those names here. So instance, for dev, it will be deploy.dev.property, deploy.test.property. Similarly, you can create a number of files for your different environments. And then I think in the following slide, I will show how we trigger these scripts. And these the extract files property, these are used in the build properties. So the CVS checkout is part of the build process. So these extract files are used from the build. They are referenced in the build these files. These are the commands used to trigger the build process. So the build process basically you can give any label here. That's basically your release version, or you can use a date of like a date format of date timestamp, which basically says that this release was done for this particular date or this particular time hour. So what we are doing is with this build process, we are triggering the job, and then so this basically triggers a job for CVS checkout, plus it performs the build package creation. And then at the end of the there's an option that it can also trigger the deploy process in the same run. So you have option to trigger the deploy process as part of the build process. So as soon as this process is done, it will trigger the deploy process. And in the build process, you can specify which all environment you want to perform the deploy. And you have to give the names of all those environments in the build property file. And it will perform the deploy the deploy function for all of them. The alternative option is that you just perform the build and then to verify that your build process is completed successfully, and then you can run these commands optionally and specify the target environment name, such as this EEC dev1. So this basically says run the deployment for dev environment. So some of the best practices, you can use tools like Jenkins to set up the scheduler jobs, which provides a user interface. This basically is, it makes it much easier to schedule the WCBD jobs. It also allows a better way for access control. So if you have multiple set of jobs, you can only certain. So if development teams will only have access to run the WCBD job for the development environment, and then administrative team can have access to run the other QA and production scripts. So you can segregate that access control, as well as audit trail. You can see who ran which jobs. So all those good things you can do with the Jenkins. Other thing, in your WCBD environment, when you run the WCBD job, it creates all the output in a workspace folder. So your build package, and it is extracted in a workspace folder, and that takes quite a lot space. So if you have to set up a scheduled job such that it runs this job performs deployment once a day, or if you have if you need to run this more often, you should create a cleanup script which basically purges those folders for all the old WCBD workspaces. As part of the deployment properties, there are parameters available where you can specify comma separated file names for all the files which you want to run. If you don't provide those file names, it will basically run all the files which are part of that folder, and that can be very time consuming. As part of your the server restart, there can be requirement to clear the temp folders, and after that it's recommended to run the GSP batch compiler utility that will allow for a faster like a good performance on this storefront. That basically brings us to the end of this webinar. So if there are any questions, please add those in the chat window, and I will try my best to answer those. These are all the different industries and clients we are currently working with. Okay. There is one question. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks all for joining. I think this you can check our website for any new other webinars. Thank you and have a good day. Bye. No questions.